From the shining domicile that is Pittsburgh Comics, my old-mannered comic shop owner, Colin McMahon, transforms into the world's greatest comic book talking TV host. Join us, true believers, for Comics Now!
Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for January 2022. It's a new year and hopefully it's better for everybody. 2021 was a good year here, a little questionable personally, but everything is good and we're looking forward to the new year and getting everything off to a bang. For here, I'm trying to get things more back to normal, and one of the things that we did for a good while was we did a monthly book club, and that we really haven't in almost 2 years now because of the pandemic and all that. But we're going to try to see if we can squeeze one in at the end of January, as long as everybody's feeling okay. So on January 28th, it's a Friday, it's always the last Friday of the month, we're going to do a book called Bog Bodies, which was written by Declan Shalvey, who's a great artist, and this was really the first thing that he wrote. It's just a neat little done-in-one story. It's a graphic novel, probably about half size of normal, so it's not a big long read, but it's a complete story, and I thought that would be a good one to start with. Bog Bodies is about an Irish gangster on the run from a job gone wrong, and he stumbles upon a young woman lost in the Dublin mountains. Injured and unarmed, and the unlikely pair must try to evade their pursuers and survive the desolate bog that has served as a burial ground for unspeakable murder throughout history. So, it looks fun, uplifting, a happy story, but something fun. It's just fun. We just get around and discuss it and have a good time. Something else that's neat. I'm a big fan of comic history. I love reading books about what went on through the years. And there's a book called Slugfest that I've almost finished. And Roku Channel did a documentary about it and talked to all the the people involved. And so I haven't had a chance to watch it, but Roku Channel I think is free. So if you get a chance, Slugfest is on there about comic history. It's just one of my real passions. One thing I also wanted to mention, the publishers, lots of books are now sliding. So I feel bad when I talk about a book and then realize it missed the month. So I'm just going by the order catalogs as far as what's coming out. So sometimes they're slipping. So some of the stuff I'm talking about might not come out till February. I can't check all the shipping dates and stuff. So this is when they're supposed to come out in January, but dates may vary. So I do apologize for that if anything's off. So with all that said, let's get on with the show. Now, Marvel is the big one of the month. They have a ton of new stuff coming, so we'll start with them. Okay, the big one that they have coming is a 10-issue weekly series about Wolverine. It's the 10 Deaths of Wolverine and the 10 Lives of Wolverine. It's going to be 5 issues of each book, alternating weeks. This has also been pushed back a little bit, but I think it's still starting in January. So we have the 10 Lives of Wolverine. Part 1, the biggest Wolverine story of all time, begins here. Logan, James Howlett, Weapon X, the mutant known as Wolverine has lived many lives under many entities and in many places, but never before has the fate of the future been so entwined with the past. Fan-favorite eras of Wolverine sagas are explored anew, along with never-before-seen episodes, as Logan must travel to various points in time to prevent the death of a key figure in mutant history. But these lives are only one side of the story. In the 10 Deaths of Wolverine, death is not the end. Death is the Omega. If Wolverine's future lies in the past, what does that mean for the present? X Deaths is can't-miss reading, chock full of revelations for the best there is, as well as the fate of mutant kind. Devil's Reign continues. This is the Daredevil story, Daredevil versus Kingpin. And it adds some miniseries. We have Devil's Reign Superior 4. Otto Octavius has acquired a taste for the infinite. Empowered by Wilson Fisk, Dr. Octopus faces a tantalizing, unprecedented opportunity to scour the multiverse, amassing an army of himself. An army to march on our reality, proving Otto's supremacy. We also have Devil's Reign X-Men. This is written by Jerry Duggan and drawn by Phil Noto, who's one of my favorites. Emma Frost has many skeletons in her closet, but only one of them is currently mayor of New York City. The truth about the White Queen's secret past with the kingpin of crime comes to light. As Wilson Fisk makes his play, will his old ally Emma Frost stand in his way or protect the secrets they share? Also have Winter Soldier. Power Mad Mayor Fisk has been gathering information on superheroes. How far will Bucky Barnes go to steal the file on his own shadowy, half-remembered past as the Winter Soldier? And what horrible revelation awaits him if he can get past the Kingpin? Some secrets are meant to stay buried, and some doors are meant to stay closed. We also have Devil's Reign Heroes for Hire. New York City is on a razor's edge, and there's only one force fighting for the rule of law in the chaos: Wilson Fisk's Thunderbolts. And a new little miniseries, Daredevil, Woman Without Fear. This is by Chip Zdarsky, the main writer of Daredevil. Elektra is the world's deadliest assassin, and she's taken a vow not to kill. Someone puts themselves directly in her path with deadly consequences. Also, a new Spider-Man book, Ben Reilly's Spider-Man. This is J.M. DeMatteis, who was a Spider-Man writer of old, and David Baldeon is drawing this. Unlocked memories in the life of Ben Reilly, a.k.a. Spider-Man. Darkness looms over New York as murders begin to pile up, but how are they all connected? Do the answers Ben is looking for reside in the haunted halls of Ravencroft Institute? Also spinning out of the Beyond storyline, we have Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond. Black Cat has been kidnapped, and the only person who can save her is Mary Jane Watson? Mary Jane has never liked Felicia Hardy, and now she has to save her life. But remember, this is Black Cat we're talking about. Things are never quite what they seem. We have a new She-Hulk book written by Rainbow Rowell, who's been around for a little bit. The best character ever is back in her own series and about to glam up the whole Marvel Universe. Jennifer Walters, a.k.a. the sensational She-Hulk, is no longer savage and needs to put her life back together. She's got a career to rebuild, friends to reconnect with, and enemies, she may not want to connect with them, but they are definitely coming to connect with her. There's going to be a new Disney show with She-Hulk, so this is probably going to be big. We also have Maestro World War M. This is Peter David, the end of Peter David's trilogy of the Maestro. AIM, the Pantheon, and even Doctor Doom have all fallen before the might of the Maestro. Finally, he may now reign over his kingdom with a firm green fist, except he doesn't count on the Abomination rising from the dead and forming an alliance with Namor and Doom. And this dangerous new alliance is ready for war, World War M. We have Silver Surfer Rebirth #1, and this is kind of fun. This is by Ron Mars and Ron Lim, who did the Silver Surfer back in the 90s and around the time of Infinity Gauntlet. So, legendary creators Ron Lim and Ron Mars return to a story set during their fan-favorite run of Silver Surfer. Someone has stolen the reality gem, an object that allows the user to fulfill any wish, no matter the consequences. But whoever has taken it is doing things like bringing back the dead hero Captain Marvel. It's up to Silver Surfer to team up with the least likely of allies, Thanos, to find the gem and restore reality to its proper form. We also have a Sabretooth mini. This is by Victor Laval, a famous writer, and Leonard Kirk. Sabretooth went into the pit, sentenced to an eternity of torment. Sure, that sounds like hell, but maybe that's where he feels most at home. What's he been doing down there? What secret deal has changed his fate forever? And what if he's not alone down there? We have Silk #1. They're bringing back Silk. Cindy Moon returns as the web-sitting spider hero Silk in an all-new all-star series. As Silk gains popularity in the public eye, Cindy is questioning her place in the world. But existentialism will have to wait. When a powerful new villain is turned loose, in a race against the clock, Silk discovers the dangers of ancient Korean magic and social media. And then Fantastic Four is a story coming that Dan Slott, I guess, was teasing in his early runs of his work, not just on Fantastic Four, but years and years ago. So it's Fantastic Four Reckoning War Alpha by Dan Slott and Carlos Pacheco. 15 years in the making, and it kicks off here. In a time before the Kree, Skrull, or Shi'ar empires, before the emergence of Galactus, before the birth of Asgard, there was the first war, the greatest war to ever rage across the multiverse. Today it is reignited, and this is the day of reckoning. And all that stands between reality and revenge from the dawn of time are the heroes of Earth, the Fantastic Four, and the mind of Mr. Fantastic. Starring the Fantastic Four, She-Hulk, Jack of Hearts, the Unseen, the Silver Surfer, and everyone in the Marvel Universe. And then it kicks off in Fantastic Four #40. The opening shot of Reckoning War has left the Earth in complete and utter chaos. And it turns out that we are not alone. The entire universe is on fire. The enemy has had eons to prepare for this attack. Reed Richards has had 2 hours to mount a defense. Johnny Storm has gone full supernova. Sue Storm has become completely invisible. Even the Watchers can't see her. And Colonel Ben Grimm, for the first time in a long time, is ready to go to war. Marauders is coming with an annual that's setting up a new team. I guess the team is disbanded, and now we're getting a new one in this annual. And then the death of Doctor Strange continues. There's a Bloodstone #1. Who better to defend Earth from magical invaders than monster hunter Elsa Bloodstone? Elsa is the best there is at what she does. Tough, skilled, and clever enough to handle any problem, except for her brother Cullen. They have issues, and they'll have to put them aside, not only to protect Earth, but also to welcome the latest addition to the Bloodstone clan, their long-lost sister. Her awesome set of powers and unique blood gem have placed a target on her back, and the worst horrors from beyond this realm are on the hunt. Star Wars has a couple new books. We have Halcyon Legacy. As legendary Halcyon embarks on a momentous cruise, the ship heads towards a confrontation with the First Order. But what secret from the High Republic era can help the passengers and crew all these years later? And how did Jedi Nibs and Barry fend off a Nihil attack on one of the ship's first ever voyages? And then we also have Star Wars The High Republic, Eye of the Storm. This is written by Charles Soule. Act 1, Roe, the Truth, the Lie, the Kill, in which we reveal the true origins of Marchion Ro, the Eye of the Nihil and sworn enemy of the Jedi Order, in which the lie at the heart of his family is exposed, in which the doom of the High Republic begins with a single kill. So that's the new stuff coming from Marvel. Now we go on to DC Comics and what they have. First up, there's a new Batman series, Batman the Knight. This is by Chip Zdarsky and Carmine Di and Domenico. I couldn't get to sleep worrying about that name. The origin of Batman and his never-ending fight against crime in Gotham City is modern mythology. But what of the story in between? How did an angry, damaged young man grow into the most accomplished detective and crime fighter the world has ever known? How did the Dark Knight begin? Taking Bruce Wayne on a fraught journey, making allies and enemies on his training to become Batman. We also have the Batman Catwoman special. This was supposed to be a Christmas one, but got a little delayed. The artist on it, John Paul Leon, had been battling cancer for a number of years, and he passed. And so the work was unfinished, and it's kind of neat because a bunch of his friends and admirers have stepped in to finish the job. Some great romances are destined to be. Batman and Catwoman series shows readers the romance between Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle as it changed over their lives. But what about their connections from before they became costume adventurers? This special, meticulously illustrated one-off issue by John Paul Leon traces the life of Selina Kyle from its earliest days to her entry into the criminal underworld, and reveals that Bruce was actually a presence in her life all along. Whether fate or coincidence, this story gives even more reasons why Selina and Bruce's connection is one of the most enduring love affairs in comics. Now expanded to celebrate the legacy of iconic artist John Paul Leon, who passed away. This special will feature his work completing the original story and tributes created by some of his closest friends and admirers. Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes. Bendis has been promoting this one for a while and talking about it, and it's finally here. 1,000 years in the future, a legion of superheroes comes together to dedicate their lives to recapturing the great age of heroes of the 21st century. When the heroes discover that reality is falling into a great darkness in both times simultaneously, the Justice League and the Legion of Superheroes must team up and stop it all. But what is the connection between the secrets of the new gold lanterns and the coming of the great darkness? We're getting a Superman Robin special now. Before we had the Super Sons when it was young Clark and young Damian, and then Clark aged up a little, but Peter Tomasi is revisiting the characters that he had so much fun with. As the Super Sons, John Kent and Damian Wayne put evil to bed past its bedtime. But a new day has dawned, and John Kent is now the Superman of Metropolis, all grown up and fighting for truth, justice, and the kinds of grown-up things that Superboy was only beginning to understand as a child. Now a ghost from John's past has reared its head, and to battle this evil, he'll need to reunite with Robin for one last mission into the heart of darkness. This time they'll be battling not as Super Sons, but as Superman and Robin. And spinning out of Suicide Squad, we're getting a Peacemaker miniseries. Peacemaker Disturbing the Peace. The fun is this is Garth Ennis, who likes to go a little over the top. So he's visiting the Peacemaker, along with Gary Brown is drawing it. Long before joining the Suicide Squad, Christopher Smith, codenamed Peacemaker, meets with a psychiatrist, a woman dangerously obsessed with his bizarre and violent past. From his tragic childhood to his military service overseas to his multiple missions with special forces, Smith has more than his share of skeletons in the closet. But who's actually analyzing whom? And will this trip down memory lane result in yet more fatalities? So now we switch to Image Comics, who has a bunch of stuff coming on this month. Aerosmith returns. This was Kurt Busiek did this back in the 90s, and he's back with Carlos Pacheco. Aerosmith behind enemy lines. It's World War I, but a war of wizards and dragons as much as bullets and barbed wire. Young airman Fletcher Aerosmith plunges back into the heat of war and finds himself behind enemy lines, facing a threat that could doom the Allied powers. And Joe Hell is having one of his short stories adapted into comics. It's called Rain. On a seemingly normal August day in Boulder, Colorado, the skies are clear and Honeysuckle Speck couldn't be happier. She's finally moving in with her girlfriend Yolanda. But the world is literally torn apart when dark clouds roll in and release a downpour of nails. Splinters of bright crystal that could shred the skin of anyone not safely undercover. Rain makes vivid this escalating apocalyptic event as the deluge of nails spreads across the country and around the world, threatening everything young lovers Honeysuckle and Yolanda hold dear. And the big news from Image is that Saga is returning after a 4-year hiatus that was only supposed to be 1 year. Saga is finally back with number 55. At long last, Hazel and her star-crossed family are finally back and here to kick off a new story arc. As thanks for fans' patience, the Saga team is proud to return with a double-sized issue, so it's going to be nice they're coming back big. Bolero number 1. A woman running away from a broken heart discovers a mother key into parallel universes. The rules are the key can work on any door. The mother will only let you visit 53 universes. Do not ask to speak to the mother. Never hop more than 53 times. And Monkey Meat number 1. The Monkey Meat Company made its fortune selling cans of processed meat all around the world. Using that money to fuel their wacky experiments, they turned their native island into a magical, hyper-capitalistic hellscape where even demons have to pay rent. Follow the lives of the creatures of Monkey Meat Island in this fun, action-packed romp. Each issue is its own story. Dark Horse has a couple neat ones coming out in January. We have Apache Delivery Service. This is by Matt Kindt and Tyler Jenkins. 2 haunted men are on a hunt in the jungles of Vietnam, searching for clues of a missing treasure trove of gold that was stolen from all over Asia by a Japanese general during World War II. Eventually, they find a series of hidden caves in the mountains near the coast. Bodies start showing up, murder victims and mutilated corpses. There's a rumor that the caves and gold are protected by terrifying witches that have been living in the cave system for thousands of years. As our warriors travel deeper into the mystery, they'll learn more disturbing facts about each other and become paranoid of one another as they get closer and closer to the gold, while at the same time a bizarre serial killer is hunting them down. That sounds fun. And then we have sort of Hyperborea. This is Mike Mignola in the Hellboy verse. From ancient warrior Gal Dinar to Sir Edward Grey to the BPRD's Agent Howard's, the iconic Hyperborean sword from the world of Hellboys landed in many influential hands. And this has been no accident. Trace the sword's path through the adventures and encounters that finally brought it to Ragnarok at the end of the world, and witness the sword's journey through history. Now, Dynamite loves their Red Sonja books, and we have a new Red Sonja book called Hell Sonja. She's the queen of damnation. She lords over the fiery pit of eternal hunger and suffering. But now she's had enough of this evil stuff. She will bind together lost souls and roll the multiverse to fill Hell's belly with only the most deserving of punishment. If someone is so wicked is beset upon you, if you're desperate enough, if no one else can help, maybe your prayer will be heard by Hell Sonja. Pantha, a new series. A cruel Egyptian queen eternally cursed to transform into a savage beast. For millennia, Pantha has endured her punishment for angering a powerful goddess, hiding herself away from the world and the ugliness of her humanity. But now something, is killing the gods, and so it falls to Pantha to save the pantheon. In exchange for her help comes the promise of redemption and freedom from her curse. But even that comes with a price. Now, Boom is bringing back Cursed Pirate Girl, which was an indie book, just really immaculately drawn. It's just a really beautiful book about a cursed pirate girl. And it's back with Cursed Pirate Girl, The Devil's Cave. In the long-awaited continuation of Cursed Pirate Girl, her loyal companion Pepper Dice reveals that there's still time to bring back her father, the pirate Captain Douglas. If she can escape the Sea King's palace with the bright star, will she be bold enough to enter the Devil's Cave in hopes of bring her father back? Or will the devil Jonah and his minions stop her? Also spinning out of Buffyverse, we're getting an Angel series. Welcome to Detective TV, starring Angel and his co-star Cordelia. But wait, Angel isn't just a celebrity. No, he leads a double life as a real monster hunter for Angel Investigations. Sometimes this double life can get his friends in trouble. As Wesley is recovering from a horrific curse, Angel stumbles into a series of supernatural events and finds himself sucked into an unexpected and mysterious world. He soon faces a terrifying enemy who sees him as an intruder. Aftershock always puts out good stuff, and they have a couple coming out this month. We have Bylines in Blood. The future. The very concept of truth has died. Politicians invent their own facts and independent newspapers no longer exist. In this world, private detective serves as Ronin, searching out the hard truths that people are desperate to keep hidden. The best of these is Satya, known as Lady Dick, a former journalist turned gumshoe who runs every lead to the ground. But Satya has just received her hardest case yet. Her old editor has been murdered. Someone wanted him silenced, and the trail points towards the highest bastions of power. To find justice for her friend, she'll have to put everything and everyone she knows at risk. And then Dark Red was a vampire story, and it's coming back with Where Roads Lead. Following the events surrounding the defeat of the Order of the Eventide, blue-collar vampire Chip tries to return to his life of quiet, rural isolation. But soon he has to ditch his late-night convenience store shift to travel across the country to New Orleans to visit a dying veteran. What starts as a trip of noble intent becomes a quest through hell of wars to retrieve a stolen soul and escape an old enemy. AWA, always a big favorite here at the store, has The Fourth Man coming out. 3 dead bodies lay in a rural morgue, all murdered in the span of 3 weeks. It's up to detectives from opposite sides of the tracks to determine who put them there, if the murders are linked, and what, if anything, they have to do with a pair of dueling car dealerships. Behemoth has an interesting one called Until My Knuckles Bleed. The 90s were the most extreme age of superheroes, but times have changed. Gavin Hart, aka Damager, now works as a bouncer in a strip club managed by the Russian mob. Hangs out sporadically with his ex-Avenge lady, and wrestles with the long-term effects of his cyber implants. But fate always keeps one last cheap shot up its sleeve for a hero. SourcePoint Press has been putting out a lot of neat books. They have one called Shelter Division coming out. A mastermind is plotting to conquer our very existence. The government has recruited the most abnormal beings to fight this abnormal threat, and those who were the investigated have become given shelter and become the investigators. Chaplain Biggs and Roswell take on a foe that runs deeper than they could have ever imagined. And then they have Cover of Darkness, #1. How far would you go to save your family? On an epic journey, 5 heroes will travel unfathomable distances, make unlikely allies, and encounter horrific villainous creatures they never knew existed, all in a desperate attempt to reunite with each other. So those are the biggies that are coming out. Of course, all the main events are going on. The X-Books are kind of wrapping up this first arc of most of their books and coming with stuff coming later this spring. We got all the other books are going on. All the events are still going. We have Beyond going on in Spider-Man. We have the big Batman events going on, including in Detective Comics. So come on in. We'll point you towards something neat. If you have any questions, you can always find us. The website's PittsburghComics.com. Facebook is Pittsburgh Comics. Twitter and Instagram are PGH Comics. So please reach out. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for Comic Previews Theater. See ya.
Monkey Meat Food Cans. In these tough times when food is so scarce, what's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? The Monkey Meat Food Cans, of course. Yes, monkey meat in cans. Don't make that face. You haven't tried it yet. Nourishing and tasty with its 99% real ape meat, This top-of-the-line dish is a favorite of families everywhere. Even little Timmy here can't stop raving about it. At the Monkey Meat Factory, we stop at nothing to give you the best, even to give of ourselves. But how would you like to visit the place where the sausage is made? For soon, a select few will be invited to visit the mysterious Monkey Meat Island. The island where the Monkey Meat Factory was built is happy to invite you to its first safari adventure. Come enjoy our luxurious hotel, thrilling jungles, heavenly beaches, as well as a demonstration of how we make your favorite monkey meat dish. As a bonus, the unveiling of our next big product, ahead of a worldwide release. In fact, we on the island have been working tirelessly to ensure you have the best of times. Ah, there he is. What did you do? I told you to bring one in pristine condition. This is disgraceful. We can't serve that to our visitors.
You better. We risked our skins for your 6 stars gourmet plateau.
Where is? Yeah, about that. Told you bringing amateurs along was stupid. The jungle ain't a place for newbies. I'm sure you can fathom why management would rather have you accompanied after your last escapade. You mean watched? Your clients better eat this meat because my guy here just died for it.